pay-per-view broadcast. What a 5 weeks of boxing here on HBO. Just to remind you, tonight, potential fight of the year between Ruslan Provodnikov and Lucas Matthysse. Next week, in Madison Square Garden, Vladimir Klitschko looking for his 18th consecutive successful defense of the heavyweight championship of the world. The following week, the live pay-per-view for Mayweather and Pacquiao. The week after that, the #1 Mexican brand in the sport, Canelo Alvarez, going against one of the most violent and unpredictable boxers in all of boxing, James Kirkland. And the weekend after that, the #1 knockout artist in the sport, Gennady Golovkin, looks for number 20 in a row in Los Angeles on a card that also shows you Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, 40-0 with 34 knockouts, ranked by many, me included, as one of the top 5 fighters in boxing. So stay in your seat for the next 5 weekends. And now let's bring in the great Bernard Hopkins, who will be working with me here at ringside tonight in Verona. Bernard, before we turn our attention to Matthysse and Provodnikov, and I know you're just as pumped about that as Roy is, what did you think of what Crawford did tonight against Delorme?
He's the real deal. Crawford is the real deal. And whoever fights between Ruslan and Matthysse will be a biggest fight. Probably one of the knockdown, drag-out fights that we'll see this year. I'm excited, Jen.
All right, so as we get ready for Matthysse and Provodnikov, they're both primarily offensive fighters, not a lot of defense. They have fought just about the same number of rounds in their careers. They fought a very similar opponent catalog. They fight in extremely similar styles. So where's the edge and who has it?
Well, the edge is who can make the adjustments when they need it, and that will be the edge, I believe. But you know, it's going to be excitement before that happens, I believe.
And before we get to the tail of the tape, let's just mention right off the top, you sophisticated boxing fans know that Bernard Hopkins works for the promotional organization that promotes Lucas Matthysse. So let's make clear, nothing Bernard says can win the fight for Matthysse or lose it for him either, and we promise he's going to play it straight. Now let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Matthysse and Provodnikov. And again, we're in the same 140-pound weight class where you saw Crawford and Delorme. And they are just about the same age. It's a 16-month difference. Matthysse slightly the older of the two. He also has a half-inch height advantage. Most significantly, perhaps, a 2.5-inch arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. That tells you that if it's a boxing match, Matthysse will have a certain advantage in space. Weigh in, Matthysse was 1 pound under the 140-pound limit. Provodnikov, 139.5 pounds, a half pound from the 140-pound limit. And just to continue with the theme of equality that I began in the on-camera with Bernard, tonight they have both rehydrated up to exactly 151 pounds. Lucas Matthysse is a unique individual. He's got unconventional interests and certainly an out-of-the-box family. Let's take a closer look.
We come from a family of fighters. My father started, he was amongst the best in Argentina. My brother Walter, he had a fight for a world championship against Paul Williams.
Great right counter from Matthysse.
My sister Soledad, she's a world champion currently. And my mother also had one fight, and then she retired. I think that we all have that same style. We come to fight. I started following my father's footsteps. We had good results, and I liked what I was doing. So now we've had good success. Well, as a kid, you know, I would draw, and then as I grew, I did a tattoo, and my mother didn't say anything, so then after that I did another one. They didn't say anything, so then after that I started getting a whole bunch. Done my own here on my chest, on my legs. You know, I'm not a very good artist. You know, as a hobby, I'll do it, but truthfully, I don't know what I'll do when I retire.
You have to love a guy who is revered by people around him as a tattoo artist and will say to us on camera, I'm not really very good at it. One thing he is good at is power punching. Bernard, it is reported that in 40 fights, he has knocked 37 of those opponents down at some point in the fight. Can we agree that part of the reason for that is he seems equally powerful from both the left and the right side?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, he has powerful fans. He's shown that in previous fights, and he's going to use those. I believe that's his biggest asset, and he's going to try to use that as much as possible because that's the starting point in the fight.
On the other hand, he's been knocked down in 2 of his last 3 fights. knocked down by Danny Garcia, knocked down twice, although one of them was questionable in his fight of the year last year with John Molina. Do you sense that he's getting reckless as he tries to get to the top of the division?
Well, it's his style. I mean, he's working with things that he's done in the past, and he's successful with it. And it's a risk. It's always a risk. But he has a crowd-pleasing fighting style, and I don't think he's going to abandon that anytime soon.
All right, Lucas Matthysse is in the ring. You see a list there of his recent appearances, and three of them were wins. One of them was a loss to Danny Garcia. With the May 2 super fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao fast approaching, Provodnikov's trainer, Freddie Roach, has opted to stay in camp with Pacquiao in Los Angeles. He has dispatched aide-de-camp Marvin Somodio to be in Provodnikov's corner this evening. And we got Ruslan's thoughts about the transition.
Freddie Roach is primarily focused on Manny Pacquiao's next fight. I don't feel left out, because the most important thing is, Freddie is in the gym every day preparing me for the fight with Matthysse. It's never perfect. There are always some types of hurdles that you have to overcome. It has happened before, and it wasn't a problem. Freddie and his assistant Marvin Somodio are both actively involved in my training. Marvin and the rest of the team will be here with me, so I'm not worried about not having Freddie in my corner. I really trust Marvin. He's a very talented trainer. Mark my words, one day he will win the Trainer of the Year award.
And here comes Ruslan Provodnikov. Even though he got a get-well knockout win over Jose Luis Castillo in Russia in November, Provodnikov acknowledges he's still trying to shake off the disappointment, and the bitter disappointment, I should call it, of his controversial split decision loss to Chris Algieri in New York last summer. How does that affect a fighter mentally coming into a fight like this, Bernard?
Well, it affects him a lot. It has to be on his mind, but it's also a motivational tool also, because he knows he wants that feeling in his mouth again. He don't want to taste it again. And look, he's going to fight harder, and he's corrected, I believe, those issues. But you know what? No matter what, I think he's going to bring all his A game, and that what makes a great fight.
You mentioned the knockdowns that Matthysse has suffered in 2 of the last 3 fights. Provodnikov has never been down as an amateur or a pro. If this is a war, is that an advantage?
Oh, absolutely. It's an advantage for him because he loves wars. I mean, he don't duck too many punches, and he's won many, many good matches by coming forward, taking some to get some.
All right, most people here are on their feet and ready. Let's go to ring announcer Ray Flores to start it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get set for our main event of the evening, this fight is being dedicated to the memory of Stan Hochman, Boxing Writer of the Year in 1991, who passed away last week at the age of 86. May he rest in peace. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Turning Stone Resort Casino here in Verona, New York, Arthur Palillo's Banner Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions presents our featured bout of the evening, sponsored by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, Mexico, Live It to Believe It, and Hortitza Vodka. This bout is being sanctioned by the Oneida Indian Nation Athletic Commission. Executive Director is Dan Gustafson. Your 3 judges scoring this contest are Don Ackerman, Glenn Feldman, and John McKay. The referee in charge when the bell sounds is Benji Esteves. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from a sold-out Turning Stone Resort Casino here in Verona, New York, it's time for our main event of the evening. 12 rounds in the junior welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting to my right out of the blue corner, he comes in wearing camouflage trunks. Official weight 139 pounds. A 39-fight veteran who enters the ring with a record of 36 wins, 34 of those coming inside the distance against 3 defeats. Hailing from Trelew, Chubut, Argentina, he is the former WBC Junior Welterweight Champion of the World. Damas y caballeros, presentando Lucas La Máquina Matthysse. And his adversary adversary fighting to my left out of the red corner. He comes in wearing black and gold. Official weights 139 and 1/2 pounds. His record 24 wins, 17 of those coming by way of knockouts against 3 defeats. Joining us and representing Beriosovo, Russia. He is the former WBO junior welterweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Dami Gospoda, presenting the Siberian Rocky, Ruslan Provodnikov. And your referee in charge here to give instructions, Benji Esteves.
Let's go, let's get him out, let's get him out. One guy. Okay, Lucas. Ruslan, you already received your pre-bout instructions. Ya recibiste tus instrucciones. I want a clean fight. Una pelea limpia. Obey my commands at all times. Obedece mis instrucciones todo el tiempo. Most importantly, protect yourself at all times. Mucho importante, protégese durante la pelea todo el tiempo. Ugache, buena suerte.
Provodnikov fought the fight of the year with Tim Bradley in 2013. Matthysse fought the fight of the year against John Molina last year. Now will they fight the fight of the year against each other tonight? Here we go. Both are stiff punchers upstairs, Bernard. Logic tells you somebody is going to want to try to get to the body early. My guess is it will be to Provodnikov.
Yes, Provodnikov, he's going to try to get him inside and work the body. You know, Matthysse, he has some boxing skills as you see moving, sometimes left to the right, and that's what you're going to have to do early in this fight.
Mathisse's trainer told us yesterday in our meeting with them, if this can become a boxing match, if I can get Lucas to focus on boxing, he will have a big advantage. But he acknowledged that Matthysse often gives up on the boxing and goes to war to make his power felt.
Yes, it's in his DNA, but I believe he has to stick to that game plan for the first quarter of the fight, because if he don't, he's going to have big problems. Because Ruslan, he loves to mix it up. He loves to trade punches. As you see, he's coming forward. And he's going to have to continue to do that early in the fight to wear Matthysse down.
And what both fighters acknowledged in our meetings was it may start out as a boxing match, but eventually somebody's going to land something big, and that may change everything. Uppercut by Matthysse. Right hand by Matthysse. He's landed a couple of jabs early on as well.
And he's putting a jab out there just to fill with other shots he can get him behind that. He's not really trying to commit with the jab. Just a jab to actually distract Ruslan. But Ruslan going to continue to come and push Matthysse to the ropes because he wants him at the rope. He needs him at the rope. You need him at the rope where he can pound on him.
In the center of the ring, a slightly quicker Matthysse may have advantages, particularly with his feet. Left uppercut landed for Matthysse. Provodnikov coming back, flurrying from both sides in a combination. Good left hook by Matthysse. All in all, it's been a very good round for Lucas Matthysse, who has gotten off to an active and effective start.
And Jim, he done something that you don't see often. Double, triple the jab, the left hook, and then he tried to set the right hand up.
Step at the bell, la campana.
Counter right hand by Matthysse.
run, Matthysse.
Very good. Okay, very good head movement, right? Right. We need to take him against the rope, right? Head movement, use your jab also, okay? Use your jab. Okay, head movement. Once you put him against the rope, let's work to the body first. Okay? Right, combination, body and head, right? Very good. Keep your hands up, right?
Lucas Matthysse, sometimes a slow starter. In recent fights, he's been averaging 30 to 40 punches in the first round or two, threw 71 punches in that round, landed 23. Much faster start than normal. Provodnikov only 6 of 31 in a round one that seemed very clearly to go to Lucas Matthysse. 1-2 by Matthysse, big left hook. Provodnikov is having trouble getting started, and Matthysse is taking advantage.
Provodnikov is cut. He's covered on the left side, top eyebrow. He got hit with the right hand.
Good body shot by Matthysse, landing very sharply. Straight right hand landed flush. There's the cut that Bernard talked about, right at the left eye of Provodnikov.
Matthysse just threw a straight right hand. When he started putting that left hand, which he just did, that's going to be a big factor. He's pinning 2 or 3 punches together, Jim, and that spells trouble.
Right now it's very one-sided, and Provodnikov doesn't look nearly as ready for the combat as Matthysse has been in these first couple of rounds.
It's target practice right now, Jim.
And the crowd is chanting, Matthysse, Matthysse, Matthysse. Uppercut by Matthysse. Straight right hand by Matthysse. Provodnikov just can't get going.
And Matthysse does something real smart. He got in, he grabbed, and he let go, and he started punching.
What a reversal. Those who saw Provodnikov-Bradley will remember that Provodnikov nearly knocked Bradley out in the first round with a tremendous start in that fight, and then knocked Chris Algieri down twice in the first round last year. Here, he's getting hammered by Lucas Matthysse in the first couple of rounds and really seems not yet to have gotten on track. Uppercut again by Matthysse, from range, but no problem.
Matthysse is very sharp. Ruslan is wide with hooks, right hooks, left hooks. And Matthysse is cutting right down the middle, or he's coming right up the middle.
And the blood trickling just outside the left eye of Provodnikov. Provodnikov needs to land some solid shot, something big, to have the feeling of getting into the fight the way Matthysse has been into it already for 5 full minutes. Body shot by Provodnikov.
Provodnikov's heart might hold up, Jim, but I don't believe his face is going to hold up as this fight continues to go on.
Great point. Provodnikov finally landed a left hook. Gave the Provodnikov fans in the crowd a little energy. But it's been all Matthysse for the first couple of rounds. He looks very loose, very confident, very in command of the fight. Another left hook for Provodnikov.
Matthysse is trying to throw that right uppercut every now and then after you throw combinations. But Ruslan just come back with a 4 or 5 punch
now
combination.
Provodnikov lands a big left-hand shot that momentarily backs Matthysse up.
Break his body down, okay? Right? When you get inside, you have to use your jab right away. Okay? This three jab, okay? Right?
Well, with all the solid power punches that Lucas Matthysse has landed in the fight, you probably thought that cut came from a punch, but no. There's the headbutt, which created the cut above Provodnikov's left eye.
Yeah, they both leaned in after they threw a punch and they connected. They connected with heads.
And the lucky man is Matthysse, as his face held up. But Provodnikov now has a very problematic cut above his left eye. Harold Letterman giving the first 2 rounds to Matthysse, and he gets off early in the third as well.
He's very sharp. He's very sharp, Jim. Matthysse is. He's throwing punches straight down the middle, then he's coming up the low uppercuts every now and then. Right hand, uppercut, he tried to get there.
When you describe a fighter as being very sharp, Bernard, is the primary indicator the accuracy of his punches?
The accuracy of his punches, yes, and just the consistency of the like a radar type of effect. He's throwing punches where he wants them to be, and he's making them look very, very sharp doing that.
Provodnikov landing a left hook upstairs and a little nip at the body. It's so much harder for Ruslan, whose arms are considerably shorter than those of Matthysse. He's got to get closer, and as you heard Marvin Somodio say to him, between rounds, you've got to back Matthysse up against the ropes.
I would like to see Matthysse throw punches to the body every now and then, because he's already made his point upstairs. He throw the left hook or throw the right hand to the body, I think he'll get a lot more results.
And as Provodnikov begins to duck and slip just a little bit more effectively and lands a punch here and there, you already heard Bernard Hopkins say his heart will keep him in the fight, although maybe his face won't.
Again, Matthisse's left, right, he's moving just enough, Jim, to be able to set that right uppercut up. If he can get there, it'll be very devastating for Ruslan to overcome that.
More clean shots from Matthysse. Jab and a straight right hand. Another left hook lands for Provodnikov. Now right to the body. Matthysse still firing back upstairs. Solid right cross from Matthysse. Provodnikov walking right through it as he tries to pin Matthysse to the ropes with no success. None at all in this round. Now Provodnikov backs Matthysse up and gets him on the ropes where he wants him. Lots of Mayweather-Pacquiao programming coming your way after boxing tonight. It's the premiere of At Last, a revealing documentary tracing the years it took for the super fight to be made. Next week, it's The Legends Speak, a unique look at the fight as seen by boxing greats and also by men who fought both Mayweather and Pacquiao. Then May 2, it's the live fight, Floyd Mayweather against Manny Pacquiao. The world will be watching on pay-per-view May 2. And Manny Pacquiao's newest music video.
Bakit kailangang husgahan ang iyong nararamdaman? Ano ba ang tamang batayan?
Proceeds from the sale of the song in the Philippines will go to survivors of the catastrophic tsunami of a year and a half ago. Provodnikov shrugging off the blood above his left eye. As round 4 begins, Harold Letterman, how'd you score the first 3?
Okay, Jim, I got it 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Lucas Matthysse. You know, Jim, I gave round 3 to Ruslan Provodnikov. I thought he was more aggressive, landed some good shots coming forward. About the cut was caused by an accidental headbutt. Benji Esteves ruled it an accidental headbutt. So if the fight gets stopped due to that cut after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Before the 4th round, it would be a no contest. 2-1, Lucas Matthysse.
Bernard, Matthysse dominated the first couple of rounds. And if Provodnikov, in fact, won the 3rd, it was pretty close. But another difference here is that Matthysse, who got off early with big shots to the head, is still throwing to the head, and it's Provodnikov who's mixing in body shots here and there.
Yeah, I mean, he is. That's his style. He's not going to abandon that style. And you know what? It's going to be more negative to him more than positive, because I think Matthysse is sharpshooting now, and he's coming up left uppercut just now. He didn't put anything behind it, but once he put these punches together, I believe that he's going to get the great results out of it. But as long as he throw one punch, two punch, Ruslan going to be around for a couple more rounds, maybe the whole fight. But you know, his face is so badly bleeding. I don't think that he's going to take too many of those straight shots like that as the fight go on, Jay.
So there's a limit to how long Ruslan can expect to hang in the fight with his eye bleeding the way it is, and therefore a greater sense of urgency for him. And you're suggesting that by focusing on the body, Provodnikov might be setting Matthysse up for big counter shots upstairs.
Absolutely, and also the referee is watching very carefully as I watch the referee. But again, they're mixing it up. Ruslan is, you know, he's got heart. He's determined. He's a really game fighter, and he's going to fight to the end.
Left hook by Provodnikov. Little by little, Provodnikov is eking his way back into the fight, although Matthysse got off to a tremendous start in the first couple of rounds and appeared headed toward domination. Great right uppercut by Matthysse. Provodnikov shrugs it off and comes back with a combination. Left hook by Provodnikov. Right cross by Provodnikov. And
you know,
Matthysse wraps him up.
And I think, you know, he's winning this round right here. I mean, he got hit with some shots, but he's throwing his own, getting his own pound of flesh himself.
Great body shot by Provodnikov and a right upstairs. Ducks a right hand from Matthysse and lands a left hook. Big left hook from Provodnikov brings the fans out of their seats. Another round that Ruslan may have won.
Absolutely. I mean, he fought, threw punches, took punches, but I believe I would give him that round because he threw punches and he threw them with bad intentions.
Please, don't exchange. I know you want it, but don't exchange. You don't have to fight him anymore. All right? What round is it? Relax.
Pocket now, right? Okay, when we stay in the pocket, can you work to the body for me? All right?
Here we go right now, and you got a jab, and then you have another jab, which is double, and Matthysse trying to move to his left. And the right hand is blocked, but then later, here we go. Ruslan throws a big overhand right, catches Matthysse, and I believe he won that round with those big shots he threw.
Total punches in round 4. Matthysse 21 of 95. Provodnikov 29 of 75. First time in the fight that CompuBox found Provodnikov outlanding Matthysse, and now on Harold Letterman's unofficial scorecard, despite the great Matthysse start, it's an even fight after 4. Ruslan Provodnikov showing the guts of a burglar as always, coming back from getting hammered in the first 2 rounds and working his way back into the fight. And he's starting to land those sledgehammer shots that could give him a chance to win.
You know, I see Matthysse headhunting more than taking the body from his attack. He should be throwing more body shots and then coming up with punches up the middle or around the sides.
Well, as I said, I think that's how Provodnikov worked his way back into the fight. That Matthysse was giving him the opportunity to throw to the body, and he did, while Matthysse continued to headhunt and look for a knockout punch.
Yes, and Ruslan is going to be in the fight until the end, or until it goes the distance, or he take over. And this is where Matthysse is vulnerable when he let Ruslan stays there and continue to trade with him.
And the last thing we mentioned on those ring walks was Provodnikov's chin, the fact that he's never been down, and already he's shown you here what an advantage it can be. Because most fighters would have gone down in those first 2 rounds.
It's a big advantage that he has on his side because, you know, he don't know nothing about being on the canvas, and he's not thinking about being on the canvas now. And that looked like a little trick up with the feet, but other than that,
when you think of the kind of precise boxing you saw from Crawford and Delorme in the first 4 or 5 rounds of their fight, and reflect that we're in the same division, it just goes to show you that 2 different worlds of boxing can exist within the same division.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing for boxing, a good thing for fans, and you know, I see some big things happening in that weight division.
Well, a fight between the winner of this and Crawford could be a very big thing, and it would present one of those style contrasts that fans love to see. Round 5, yet another active round. Not much to choose between the 2 of them, although, if anything, the harder punches have once again been landed in this round by Provodnikov. Matthysse back to being accurate with his jab and following it up with rights and lefts. Cinco de Mayo is a big day both on the Mexican calendar and here at HBO. First, tune in for the premiere of 24/7, Canelo Alvarez, James Kirkland, as both men prepare for their matchup. And it's the fight game. Join me along with Max Kellerman and Michelle Beadle as we look toward that fight and back at Mayweather-Pacquiao. Then May 9, live on HBO, it's a fascinating matchup. Canelo Alvarez versus James Kirkland, live from Houston, Texas.
Don't wait too long, okay? Once you have to, you throw the jab in the right hand to the body. Okay, just like sparring. Okay? Let's go, let's... That left hook to the body is working also. Sometimes you can use that.
Power punches through round 5, CompuBox count. Matthysse 110 of 207. Most of those were in the first 2 rounds. Provodnikov 84 of 258. Many of those were in the last 2 rounds. We come to the 6th of a scheduled 12. The cut man in Provodnikov's corner is Eddie Akaway, and he's doing the best he can to keep that giant cut above the left eye from opening up and further bothering Matthysse. So far, you'd have to say he's doing a good job, for Provodnikov, and so far you'd have to say he's doing a good job because Provodnikov is still in the fight and seemingly thriving the last couple of rounds despite the bleeding and the swelling. Tremendous shots by Matthysse. The accuracy returns.
And also the power by Matthysse. Those 3 punch combinations was meant to get his attention. That is Ruslan.
Left hook lands for Matthysse. Very powerful with that punch. Right cross from Matthysse, equally powerful with that punch.
Again, Matthysse throwing great shots upstairs, Jim, but he's not going back to the body with the left hook or right hand.
And Provodnikov continues to invest in the body, even while being beaten to the punch and hammered upstairs by Matthysse. This is a big round so far for Lucas. Matthysse comes from cattle country in Argentina. His father was a professional boxer. His mother was a boxer. His brother was a professional boxer who's now a trainer. His sister is a professional boxer. He's known boxing all his life ever since infancy. Provodnikov comes from one of those tiny, hard-bitten, impoverished Siberian towns where life itself is a fight for everyone.
And Jim, he just got hit with 4 punch combination, and that stung him. That stung Ruslan real bad because he stopped and he just paused for about a second or 2.
I find it hard to believe there's another 140-pound fighter in the sport who would still be standing after taking those flush shots from Lucas Matthysse.
Absolutely. I mean, he throws those punches not only hard, but he throws them accurate and sharp.
Round 6 has been a tremendous spectacle for Lucas Matthysse, and you can see the CompuBox numbers. He's landed 40 punches in the round to only 7 for Provodnikov, and still, Provodnikov throws with all his might.
10 seconds, 10 segundos.
And looking at Provodnikov, I'm reminded of what you said in round 3, Bernard. His heart might keep him in the fight. His face may not be able to do so.
Lucas, very good. Perfect, perfect. Sit, sit, sit. Perfect. You're showcasing yourself, Lucas. Sit. Breathe now, breathe. Deep breath. How you doing? Very good, very good.
Show me, okay?
Покажи ему, чтобы он не останавливал.
Show me the reason why you don't want me to stop the fight. Okay? Right? You got to work behind the jab. What happened to your body work?
Шеба надо бить. И почему в корпус не бьешь?
Okay?
Marvin Somodio saying, show me the reason you don't want me to stop the fight. The suggestion being another round like that one, and Somodio may feel it's the better part of valor not to continue. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Don't cry for me, Argentina. 4 rounds to 2, 48, 46, Lucas Matthysse. I'm sorry, 58-56, Lucas Matthysse. Jim, I thought he won round 5. He won round 6. He won the first 2 rounds, 4-2. You know, he's landed that left jab and that straight right hand constantly. And Provodnikov obviously being bothered by the blood going into his eye. 4 rounds to 2, Matthysse.
Harold, how close was round 6 to being a 10-8 round?
Very close, Jim, but you know, Ruslan Provodnikov lands some, huge shots, even in rounds that he loses.
Well, Jim, he's getting pop shot now, and he's getting hit with left hooks. He got hit with a body shot early in the beginning of the round. That sort of got his attention. But Matthysse still continue to go 1 time or maybe 2 every now and then, but he should go down there more often and then go back upstairs.
There's blood streaming from above the eye. There's a big swelling under the eye. But so far, the lids still seem to be open. Is it affecting his vision anyway?
Yeah, I mean, his blood running down his eye. He already got the gloves hitting him and taking his vision. He just got hit with a stiff jab just now. Of course, yes, it's bothering him. But he still comes back with 2 3-punch combinations. You know, Jim, I wanted to say is, in my time of watching boxing in my life, I've seen 2 fighters that had the heart, like Ruslan and also the great late Arturo Gatti. I mean, this guy is not going to quit. He's going to continue to try to win somehow, in some way.
Break, no punching.
And we've seen Arturo Gatti in the past, the late Arturo Gatti, win fights when looking the way Provodnikov does at this moment. It's hard to figure exactly how he could do it tonight, but of course, nobody would have thought he would win rounds 3 and 4 after the way he got hammered around the ring in rounds 1 and 2.
And that cut, Jim, then opened up a little wider, it seems. And you know, the referee's paying attention, but Matthysse has to step it up. This is where he needs to make his move now. Right now, Matthysse.
Do you like Benji Esteves as a rep?
Oh, yeah, he's professional. He stays out of the way. He stays at a right about distance to be able to help the fighter if he needs to be out of the fight and make sure the fight is happening the way it's supposed to.
So remember, part of Provodnikov's purpose in this round was, quote, to show Marvin Somodio, the trainer in his corner, why he doesn't want Somodio to stop the fight. I think he's gotten things back in gear enough, probably to convince Somodio to let it go a little bit further, but he's still not in any kind of position to do damage to Matthysse because Matthysse is assaulting him constantly and piling up the points. Let's take a quick sneak preview now of At Last, which follows this boxing match tonight.
It was abundantly clear this was the fight that had to be made.
There was very little contention. And then they raised the issue of drug testing.
If you want to fight, let's make it happen. You don't want to fight, shut the fuck up.
Who the fuck's he to make the rules? We'll fight him any day of the week.
People were getting fed up. Look, we want to see this fight. There's a giant pile of money here, and they're not fighting each other?
Why don't you fight Pacquiao?
Why did they blame me? Because there was nobody else left to blame.
Manny gave us the mandate to get this done.
What are these guys doing together? What are they talking about?
Now, finally, 5 years, 6 years in the making, it's timing.
At the end of the day, Nothing this complicated and this big happens without a certain degree of magic.
We're back at the Turning Stone Casino in upstate New York, the beginning of round 8 between Lucas Matthysse and Ruslan Provodnikov. Harold Letterman's unofficial scorecard shows you part of the story, which is that Matthysse is almost certainly well ahead in the fight. The other part of the story is that it's been a thunderous battle of traded power shots, and Matthysse has gotten the better of it, except for in rounds 3 and 4. It only takes a little bit of foot movement from Matthysse to slow down Ruslan Provodnikov's offensive attack. Provodnikov almost needs really for Matthysse to stand still to get off the kinds of punches that would get him back in the fight.
Or lay on the ropes. And, you know, Matthysse is too smart, too seasoned to play that game, so he's going to continue to take those steps to the right or to the left and continue to pop that jab and every now and then throw straight punches down the pipe.
Great power punchers don't want to be big movers, but they do want to have the little subtle movements side to side, front and back, that set them up to throw their power shots.
Exactly. It gives, you know, false, you know, it gives a false message to your opponent, and Ruslan in this case, that he's, you know, he can come in, but he can't, and he get hit with just a right hand just now for 1-2. That's what he's doing. He's leading him in. He's leading him in to hit him with something big.
When you talk about leading somebody in to set up hitting them with something big, we saw a perfect example of that in the first fight of the evening, where Terence Crawford really played Tomas Delorme like a tuna on the line.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's another guy that mastered that type of, you know, false security that his opponent thinks he has, and then he shuts the lights out.
That's what Matthysse is trying to do to Provodnikov, but he may not be able to shut Provodnikov's lights out just because of Provodnikov's incredible chin, which keeps him going despite the number of thunderous power shots he has eaten from Lucas Matthysse. Here's Provodnikov with another little mini comeback that brings back those members of the crowd who are rooting for the Siberian Rocky and want to see him pin Matthysse in the corner and unload some power, as he tried to do right there. And now Matthysse backs into the corner again. Hard right hand by Provodnikov.
Very good, very good. Luca, how you feeling? You feeling strong? Good? Good. Okay, that's what I'm asking you. You know what you have to do. Okay, you tell me what you want to do. What do you think? Don't throw that right hand just for throwing it.
Body and head. And then head movement, okay? Very good. Take a deep breath.
Here's Matthysse going to the ropes voluntarily. Just know that he can see everything coming. He don't mind just giving Ruslan the false intentions that he think he can be hit, but he can't be.
Matthysse seemed to take a little bit of a rest in that round. Provodnikov got off more power shots and landed more. And Harold Letterman scores the round for Provodnikov, which keeps him marginally in the fight, down only 5 rounds to 3 after 8. Despite the level of punishment which has been laid on him by Matthysse. Now here comes Lucas again, firing from both the right and the left, trying to put Provodnikov back on the defensive.
And every now and then, Matthysse, he sits, puts his hands up like the earmuffs type of style, and he's just really waiting for an opening from Ruslan to throw punches so he can counter, because he can see everything coming. Matthysse, that is.
Provodnikov got a little left hook to the body. Misses wildly short with a hook.
And Ruslan is starting to bounce a little bit. He didn't do that earlier, but he's doing it now, and I don't know if it's a strategy or not, or he feels that he can go ahead and get hit less. But he's coming forward.
Maybe he's doing it to show Samodio that he's still alive in there and still has a chance in the fight. Convince his trainer not to stop it. But of course, the last round should have been good enough to do that. Good little left hook there for Provodnikov. And as the fight goes on, it becomes clear that although Provodnikov has very good power, he doesn't have the kind of power Matthysse does. He hasn't been able to bust up Mathisse's face the way Matthysse has busted his up. Good body shot.
But a good counter right hand by Matthysse after that body shot also.
Here's another round in which the greater punching accuracy of Lucas Matthysse is showing up.
He's been accurate all day. He's been accurate, you know, this whole fight. He's been just shooting straight punches straight down the middle, and every now and then uppercuts here and there. But he's just so on tonight. He's so on.
You know, Bernard, Ruslan Provodnikov acknowledged to us yesterday that he has had some thoughts about shortening his career, that retirement is somewhere on his mind in the not-too-distant future. And, of course, there's an old adage in this sport that if you're talking about it, you're already retired. You think that's a factor here tonight?
Well, I don't think he's thinking about that tonight. I think he's thinking about how can he get this fight in his favor, even though it's 9 rounds and, you know, 3 more to go. Right now, Matthysse has to go ahead and give him something to make him think that way. Right now, he's not. Matthysse is not giving that type of feeling. And you know what? Ruslan just threw 4 or 5 different good shots. Maybe tied the round up.
He won the last 30 seconds of the round. If that sticks in the judges' minds, maybe he has narrowed it to 5 rounds to 4.
Very good, very good.
Just maybe.
Deep breath. Relax your shoulder. Okay? We only have 3 rounds to finish this guy. Huh? This round, I want you to be more busy. Right? Keep that left hand busy. When he stays still, go to the body right away.
Listen here, the jab right now, and then Ruslan throws a right hand, and then he throws a left. I don't think that's enough that he won the round, but it at least gave him a little hope he might think for the next 3 rounds to go.
Power punches through 9. Very much in Mathisse's favor, 161 of 331 to 120 of 408. Very high percentage for Matthysse, landing 49% of his power shots. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim, I got it 5 rounds to 4, 86-85 Lucas Matthysse. But Jim, I got to tell you, I think Ruslan Provodnikov, the last 2 rounds, landed some hellacious shots and made this fight closer. Ruslan just doesn't stop coming. You think the guy's out of the fight, and all of a sudden, Mathisse's landed left jabs, not the hard, straight right hand he was landed early, and Provodnikov is landed right hands that would knock over telephone poles. So I think Ruslan has come on, made it a little bit closer, a 1-point fight, 5 rounds to 4, Matthysse.
Fascinating. So Provodnikov, at least on Harold Letterman's unofficial card, is still in the fight, still with a chance to win it with 3 rounds to go, despite all the punishment he's taken from a very sharp Lucas Matthysse tonight. 2 minutes left in this round, and it's a critical one. Neither man has really put an imprint on the round so far.
And I'm a little surprised, Jim, that Matthysse ain't throw more punches than hard punches just to go ahead and get the referee's attention.
Trying to force the referee to stop the fight?
Well, trying to at least give Ruslan, you know, some type of, you know, feeling that maybe, you know, this might be it. This might be, you know, not his night. But he has to let his hands go, Matthysse, to even get that reaction from the referee or Ruslan.
Hard left hook to the body by Matthysse. Hasn't thrown a whole lot of body shots, but when he does, they're good. Right hand inside by Provodnikov.
And Matthysse has great opportunities because Ruslan is coming in all the time. Right uppercut, left hook. He'll get some reaction. But as long as he's throwing straight punches, Ruslan is used to those punches all night.
Momentarily, Matthysse was in the corner. Crowd got excited. Hard left hook by Provodnikov. Knocks Matthysse back. Provodnikov's face a grotesque mask, but he's still trying hard and gaining some purchase here in round number 10. And this is fascinating, Bernard. Our Spanish interpreter, Jerry Olaya, tells us that between rounds the last time, Luis Pereira told Lucas Matthysse, "You are way ahead. You are winning by a wide margin." Normally, trainers won't say that late in a fight.
And I don't think he should have said that because I think the fight is a little closer. I believe Matthysse is winning, but I don't think he's winning that
hard
far
right
back.
hand by Provodnikov. That was a critical round because at least on Harold Letterman's card, if Provodnikov won it, you've got an even fight.
Huh? Okay. Deep breath. Hermana. Okay. Here. Here. Okay. This guy is on his way down. Okay. Right. I want you when you set up with the jab. And hard punches behind it. Okay.
Tremendous uppercut there by Matthysse, Bernard.
Yeah.
And then later in the round, this.
They both exchanged left hooks to each other and they both connected.
CompuBox numbers in the 10th round favored Matthysse. 30 out of 88 to 14 of 69 for Provodnikov. Now we come to the 11th. Harold Letterman gave the round to Matthysse, widening his lead on Letterman's unofficial scorecard. So now, at least on the Letterman card, if Provodnikov were to win the last 2 rounds, he'd wind up with a draw. You heard Marvin Somodio telling Provodnikov between rounds, he's going downhill, he's running out of energy. Work your jab and bring big shots behind it. Hard body shot by Matthysse. That could take some of the steam out of Provodnikov down the stretch. Quick, precise left hook. Now Matthysse inadvertently backs himself into a corner and walks Provodnikov away to get out of it.
Matthysse is touching with that jab, We call it a range founder. And then he's going to try down every now and then to go to the body. I would like to see him throw that punch, but I like to see him put a left hook behind that.
Stop. Time.
Now Benji Esteves has called time to ask for the tape to be removed.
Córtalo. Just cut it.
And Esteves is looking for some quick work here and not getting it. As Matthyse's corner doesn't seem to have a pair of scissors.
Córtalo.
Esteves is getting increasingly upset as Matthyse's corner fails to provide the scissors. And it's hard to say which fighter benefits from the extra rest here, but I wouldn't mind being Provodnikov standing over there and getting a breather.
Well, he benefits, Jim, because he needed a break. His face is busted up.
Now they're finally back to work. And Provodnikov wakes himself up with a left hook and a right cross, and an uppercut, and a little Provodnikov rally here in the middle of round 11. Body shots and a left hook, another left hook. Matthysse suddenly a little bit tentative as Provodnikov tries to come on.
And Provodnikov left hook. Just throw that and got Mathisse's attention. It buckled his legs. He got hit with a good shot just now, Jim.
That left hook was one of the best shots Provodnikov has landed all night. And now Matthysse comes back with his jab. Provodnikov swings big.
And if you look at Matthysse left eye, I believe, is swollen left or right eye from that left hook.
Matthysse working his jab to try to get Provodnikov off of him. Provodnikov gets him to the ropes, knocks him into the corner, lands a right hand, lands a left hook, lands another right hand, and another left hook. Huge comeback by Provodnikov in round 11.
We said, Jim, it would be a war. We told people it would be a war, and it's living up to that.
Well, it doesn't have the drama of knockouts, but now it's beginning to develop the drama of an unlikely comeback by a fighter who appeared to have no chance. Crowd roars. They think Provodnikov won the 11.
Did you feel his power? Please. It's the last round. You're winning. You're winning. We're 8 points up.
One, you can land 3, 4, 5, okay? Let your hands go, okay? Right, brother? Okay. We want to be a world champion again, right?
Here's Ruslan comes up with a big left hook and got a reaction out of Matthysse. His legs bowed.
And between rounds, they began working Mathisse's right eye with the end swell, as that was the eye that seemed to swell a little bit after Provodnikov's left hook. Warm embrace for the two fighters as they begin the last round. Provodnikov still digging. Harold Letterman's scorecard tells you the story.
The fight could be solved. It could be really, really means this round is so important because the fight is close, at least by Harold Letterman's card.
Neither man has ever had a 12th round knockout. Not even Matthysse.
I don't think Matthysse should gamble and try to box or try to, avoid any kind of comeback. I think he should just let his hands go and just, stand still, hold
He should
ground.
do what he did in rounds 1 and 2. It's still the same Provodnikov in front of him.
Fresh, yeah. He has to go ahead and use
Fire
that
away.
to his advantage.
Be Lucas Matthysse. Fire away. Don't make it look as though Provodnikov has taken your game away. Big right hand by Provodnikov. Big left hook from Matthysse. Trading shots with 1.5 minutes to go. Now Provodnikov's energy seems to be seeping away just a little bit. Not nearly as effective as he was in the 11, when he was able to target Matthysse with big shots. Matthysse just jabbing and moving, trying to stay away and not get himself knocked out carelessly in the 12th. Left hook Provodnikov. Hard right hand from Provodnikov. Backs Matthysse up. Only 40 seconds to go.
Matthysse haven't threw a punch now in quite a while, but he has to let his hands go. 30 seconds.
Good body shot by Provodnikov. Tape coming off of Matthisse's glove again. Benji Esteves not going to stop the action here. 15 seconds to go. Provodnikov seems to be winning the round, but if so, by only a very narrow margin. are celebrating what they believe is a Matthysse win. And maybe it wasn't as explosive and dramatic as in our wildest imaginations we thought it would be, but it was a hell of a fight.
It was a hell of an action fight, and you know, the crowd here at Turning Stone was hollering, screaming. It was a good fight. It was a fight that means something for what happens next.
Harold Letterman, you had it 105, 104 coming to the 12th round. Who won the 12th?
Jim, I thought Ruslan Provodnikov won the 12th. I thought Ruslan Provodnikov staggered him in the 11th. I think the fight was so good, I called it a draw. I've got it 6 rounds apiece, 114, 114.
Several prominent writers on Twitter showing the same score that Harold Letterman had.
Of course!
114,
There's no
114.
doubt about it.
And who are the official judges, Harold?
Okay, Jim. Don Ackerman, president of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He had Granovich decision over he had Granovich over Dib. That was the right score. Don usually does a good job. Nice man. Now, let's talk about Glenn Feldman. Last week, he killed me. This is a guy that's a really good judge. Last week, he scored Peter Quillen 10-9 in the 3rd round of a fight with Andy Lee. When Peter Quillen scored a knockdown, the fight turned out to be a draw. It should have been 10-8 in the 3rd round, and Quillen should have walked away with the WBO middleweight title. John McKay, good judge from New York. You see, he had Willie Monroe over Brian Vera. Willie Monroe got the shot at the Triple G because of that decision. So, good job. John McKay will do a good job tonight.
We'll talk about Quillen Lee because that knockdown was facilitated by a foot on top of Andy Lee's foot.
Yeah, but the referee said it was a knockdown.
There you go. I know. I understand what you're saying. Let's go to Ray Flores, the ring announcer, with the official scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we read the official scorecards, please give these 2 warriors of the ring a round of applause for an unbelievable fight inside this ring. After 12 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at ringside, Don Ackerman, has the bout 114, 114, a draw. Overruled by judges Glenn Feldman and John McKay, who have the bout 115, 113 for your winner by majority decision, Lucas La Máquina Matthysse.
So it's a majority decision for Lucas Matthysse, as the work he did in the early rounds and the damage he did to Provodnikov's face stands up enough to allow 2 judges to find him the winner by 115, 113, when our unofficial scorer, one of the 3 judges, and quite a number of writers at ringside seem to have had it a draw, 114 apiece. But the CompuBox numbers will significantly favor Matthysse and bolster the notion, probably on the part of many fans at home, that Matthysse won the fight. You see, he landed 126 more punches by CompuBox count. He threw nearly 300 more punches, 289 in fact, more punches than Provodnikov, or 279 more punches, I should say, than Provodnikov, landing at a higher percentage, 32%. Power punches. And you'll see edges here for Matthysse as well. Landing 38 more, throwing 152 fewer, landing at a much higher percentage. When you connect on 47% of your power punches, you're almost certainly going to win the fight. And Punch Zone will show us some of the geographic evidence of where the punches landed during the fight. You can see that Matthysse landed 35 body shots to only 24 on Provodnikov, and Matthysse didn't do that much body work during the fight. That's part of the reason it would appear to us that Provodnikov was able to proceed all the way to the finish despite getting hammered around the ring in the first 2 rounds. And of course, you see what happened upstairs with 123 punches landing on the chin of Provodnikov. A lot of those jabs, of which Matthysse threw many, many more than Provodnikov in the fight. In fact, despite the effectiveness of his power punching, you might say that Matthysse put the finishing touches on this, put the exclamation point on the win with his jab. And here's Lucas Matthysse of Argentina here at ringside after the thrilling victory over Ruslan Provodnikov. And Jerry, let's start with Lucas. We were told that late in the fight, your trainer, Luis Barrera, suggested to you you were winning by a wide margin. So in light of that, are you surprised that the scores were as close as they were?
No escuché, la verdad, los puntos. La verdad que no lo escuché.
No, really, I didn't hear what the points were. I just didn't hear it.
Well, it was a close fight as the judges saw it at the end, and this despite the fact that you hammered Provodnikov in the first couple of rounds. At the end of round two, with Provodnikov bleeding badly over his left eye, and after all the shots you had landed, did you have it in your head that you were going to knock him out?
Sí, pensé que sí, ¿no? La verdad que le veía el corte ese y pensaba que lo iba a lastimar porque le daba golpes duros. Pero es una roca.
I thought so, yes, because I saw that cut and I was hitting him hard. But, you know, he is a rock. I thought it was going to hurt him.
So is his chin about as impregnable as any chin you've been in with? I mean, he took an amazing amount of punishment from you.
Sí, la verdad que sí. Recibió mucho, le di mucho, bien fuerte. Me hice mal la mano, pero bueno, la verdad, un gran campeón.
He did. He took a lot of hard punches, and I even hurt my hand, but he is a great champion.
All right. You seem to allow him to get back into the fight somewhat in the middle rounds. Were you pacing yourself, realizing that it might turn out to be a long fight after all?
Sí, salí a laburar, ¿no? La verdad que es un boxeador que tengo que moverme. Y a los primeros rounds me moví bien, pero después, bueno, me fue cansando un poco las piernas. Por eso me fui quedando.
You know, I came to work, and you know, he's a boxer, and that makes me and requires me to move. You know, and I started working, and I started moving my legs, and it started working for me.
We know that you hurt him because we saw that from some of the shots you landed in the first couple of rounds. You buckled his knees a couple of times and obviously did a lot of damage on his face. Did he manage to hurt you with any of his big shots down the stretch?
Sí. En algunos golpes sí, sentí la mano. En el 11 sentí una mano igual por acá. Que me tuvo ahí, pero bien, me pude recuperar, siempre estaba consciente.
Yes, for sure. You know, in the 11th round, he hit me to the side of the head, and I definitely felt that shot. And, you know, I got a little bit weak, but I always had to be very conscious of what I had at hand.
What do you have in mind now after this tremendous win? Are you focused on a rematch with Danny Garcia, or will you take any great fight you can get in a 140-pound division?
Me gustaría una gran pelea, ¿no? Si tengo la posibilidad, sé que soy uno de los mejores 140, ganando esta pelea, me gustaría tener ser el próximo ganador de Mayweather Pacquiao.
You know, I'm one of the best in the 140 division. I would like to do whatever fight comes up, but I would like the best fight, Mayweather Pacquiao. That would be the one. I'm one of the best in the division.
All right, congratulations on a great show.
Muchas gracias, un saludo para mi hija, para la gente de Junín, para todos los pibes que me ayudaron, para los pibes de gimnasio, para mi familia, para mi señora María, para mi familia allá en Trelew, para toda la Argentina, muchísimas gracias. Y aguanta Argentina, la concha de su madre.
That was for his daughter, right?
For all of Argentina, for his family, for his wife, for his daughter, for everyone that helped him in the gym, all of his crew, everyone that helped him. Long live Argentina.
And the entire fighting family of the Matthisses. Thank you, Jerry, and thank you very much. Now here is Ruslan Provodnikov. Vasily, let's start with the first couple of rounds. He got hammered around in the first couple of rounds, and a headbutt caused the big cut over his left eye. After those rounds, was he worried about his ability to finish the fight?
После первых раундов, когда ты проиграл и когда у тебя открылось рассечение, ты думал, что ты не сможешь продолжить какой-то момент бой?
Нет, выходя в ринг, я говорю своему тренеру всегда, что бы ни случилось, не вздумай останавливать бой. Либо я сегодня упаду, либо я выиграю любой ценой. Поэтому думать об остановке или прекращении боя у меня никогда в голове нет. Лучше я упаду.
Every time I come into the ring, I tell my trainer to never stop the fight. The only time that the fight will be stopped is I'm on my back, laying on the ground. All other times, I was going to fight until the end.
Is he the hardest puncher you've been in with?
I'm sorry?
Is he the hardest puncher that Ruslan's been in?
Лукас Matthysse это был боксер с самым сильным ударом, которым тебе пришлось боксировать?
Я думаю, что да.
Yes, he was the hardest puncher that I ever faced.
In the middle of the fight, you were gaining the purchase, you were getting back, you landed some big shots. Coming into the late rounds, did you feel that you had a chance to knock him out, or were you still thinking you could win a decision?
В середине боя ты немного выровнял ситуацию, много нанес ему ударов сильных. Ты думал, что сможешь его в концовке нокаутировать? Как ты, тактика какая была в концовке?
Закончить бой любой ценой, то есть выиграть любой ценой, неважно, какой ценой она мне достанется. Вы видели, что я себя отдаю всего и не обращая на то, что со мной будет. Я дарю себя всем своим землякам, всем своим фанатам, которые за меня болеют. Я свое слово всегда держу. Я обещаю, что я всегда обещаю, что я дам зрелищный бой. Неважно, какой будет результат. Я свое слово сдерживаю.
I just wanted to win the fight, no matter how it came, by knockout or any other way. I go out there every time and I just fight till the end. I give it all. I give it 100%. And I just want to thank my fans and everybody in the building that came to support me. I promise before every fight that I'm going to give it all, and I give it all every single time.
And he did again tonight. Thank you very much, Ruslan.
Хочу поблагодарить и извиниться перед всей своей родиной, перед Россией, перед своими земляками, перед Югрой, перед своим народом, что сегодня проиграл. Извините, чуть-чуть не повезло сегодня.
I would like to apologize to my fans, to all the people in Russia, to all the people in my hometown, in my region that I lost today. I feel so bad about it. I just want to apologize.
Tell him he owes nobody any apology.
Ты не должен ни перед кем оправдываться, ни перед кем извиняться.
Thank you. All right. So now we bring Bernard Hopkins back, and Bernard, by the way, and you viewers at home, all three of the official judges had Provodnikov winning the 12th round, so that was not a factor in the final scores of the fight. Ultimately, tremendously courageous performance by both fighters, right, Bernard?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you've seen guts, you've seen determination. I mean, this is what boxing is about, showing true grit, never giving up. And that's what you've seen today from Ruslan tonight. It's really, really a testimony to all the young fighters and anyone that watched this fight tonight. And when you see two warriors giving and taking for the sport that they love.
All right. Thanks very much, Bernard. Great work tonight. Thanks to all of you viewers at home who got a real treat here in this 140-pound doubleheader where you saw a tremendous performance by Terence Crawford in the first fight, knocking out Thomas Delorme with another great show of his precision, his multiple talents, and his punching power. And then the all-out war that we expected between Matthysse and Provodnikov, which winds up in a very close majority decision win for the Argentine Lucas Matthysse, who says he'd like to fight the winner of Mayweather-Pacquiao, but is probably more likely to get another fight against a top 140-pounder. Thanks very much for being with us. Let's look ahead to upcoming programming here on HBO.
When I'm visiting New York, I have a feeling that New York is the capital city of the world. My goal is to become a real champion. Just to be a champion.
9 years later, Vladimir Klitschko has proven beyond any doubt that he is the preeminent big man of his era. And on April 25, the heavyweight champion of the world returns to the legendary ring in Madison Square Garden. Boom! That's what heavyweights are supposed to do. 17 consecutive title defenses. 13 knockouts across 3 continents. Dr. Steelhammer continues to reign supreme. His challenger, Bryant Jennings, undertakes a metamorphosis. A transformation from opening act to headline attraction. That's going to be a knockout victory for Bryant Jennings. The undefeated Philadelphia product will attempt what no fighter has accomplished in more than a decade. Conquer Vladimir Klitschko. The sport's biggest fighters in America's biggest city for the heavyweight championship of the world. Vladimir Klitschko versus Bryant Jennings, 1 week from tonight. For more, let's take a look at upcoming programming on HBO. Next Saturday night, after an absence of 7 years, the heavyweight champion is back stateside. Left hook lands for Klitschko, and down goes Bulev. Vladimir Klitschko returns to the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, and defends the legitimate championship against undefeated Philadelphia native Bryant Bye-Bye Jennings. Also that night, Brooklyn favorite Saddam World Kid Ali is back in action against Francisco Santana. Live from Las Vegas on Friday, May 1, it's the premiere edition of the new boxing series on True TV. Headlining the telecast are Takehiro Ao and Raymond Beltran, who will show down for a lightweight world title belt. On Tuesday, May 5, Cinco de Mayo, it's the premiere of 24/7 Canelo Kirkland. We step into the training camp of Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez as he prepares for a tough test against knockout artist James Kirkland. Immediately following 24/7, it's my show, The Fight Game. Join me along with Max Kellerman and Michelle Beadle as we discuss the storylines and news leading up to the Canelo Alvarez fight, as well as break down the results and aftermath of the May 2 pay-per-view from Las Vegas. Then on May 9, it's the live fight from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Canelo versus Kirkland. Two dangerous offensive fighters square off in a bout that is bound to produce fireworks. Down goes Belvedere on a rocket left hook.
Kirkland is in the zone right now. He can smell blood.
He's giving Tapia a frightful beating.
1 week later, on Saturday, May 16, it's the return of Triple G to World Championship Boxing.
Hard uppercut by Golovkin. Predator at work. Down goes Rubio.
Live from the LA Forum, Gennady Golovkin looks to continue clearing out the middleweight division as he takes on Willie Monroe. Also that night, the Nicaraguan climbing the pound-for-pound list, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez faces off against Mexican veteran Edgar Sosa for a flyweight title. Don't miss a moment of the action. For more information on the schedule and the fighters, go to HBO.com and InsideHBOBoxing.com. In the next couple of weeks, lots of Mayweather-Pacquiao programming coming your way. Next on HBO, it's the premiere of At Last, a documentary tracing how the super fight finally got made. Next week, it's The Legends Speak, a unique look at the fight as seen by boxing greats and also by men who fought both Mayweather and Pacquiao. Then May 2, it's the live fight, Floyd Mayweather against Manny Pacquiao. The world will be watching on pay-per-view May 2. Now for everyone in New York and in Texas, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long and see you next week from New York City.